Hey, welcome back to me being cheap. I thought I would put together a video about an alternative, and this has to do with all the hype that's going on with the coronavirus or COVID-19. So there's been a run on stores. People are taking up all the toilet paper, the sanitizing products, etc., etc. So I want to talk to you about an option or an alternative for a disinfectant that you can make yourself, and a lot of people are not aware of this. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving any medical advice, and I'm not even going to give the demonstration on how to make it, but I'm going to tell you what it is and the materials that you need to make it, and then I will let you do your own research and see if this will work for you and your family. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about making colloidal silver. This is something that we use in our household. We mostly use it for wounds. So if you are in the medical field, you do know that a lot of the bandages that you can get, prescription bandages, are impregnated with silver because of their anti-infective properties. Now, the cool thing about silver is that it works on bacteria, virus, and fungus. So it discourages growth of all three. So it does make a good disinfectant. And in fact, the old timers back then used to put like a silver dime or a silver quarter in the rain barrel to help keep it clean. So primarily what we use it for, we put it in a lotion, and we put this lotion on burns, bug bites. It's a little bit similar. I don't know if any of you old timers remember the Silvadene cream. Like if you got a real bad burn and the doctor might order that from the pharmacy, and the pharmacy would compound that or make it themselves. So it's slightly similar to that. It is a lotion that has a colloidal silver in it. And so it's really good for burns and other things. Also, we use it on acne. We use just the water itself on athlete's foot, that sort of thing. So it has a number of uses. Do your own research what you want to use it for, but you can also wipe down surfaces with it. So if you were to buy the colloidal silver at the store or off the internet, you're going to get a tiny little bottle, and you're going to pay a lot for it. So I'm going to tell you how you can make it now. The original investment in the equipment is going to cost you a little bit of money, but there are two ways of doing it. One is a little bit cheaper, and the other, which is more expensive, is a little bit more long-term. But once you have your original equipment set up, you'll be able to make this stuff for really cheap. Okay, so to make colloidal silver, the first thing you need is actual silver, and we're getting ready to make a batch tonight, so we have these clean. We'll go ahead and clean them again after I handle them, but you will want to get real silver, and I've got 2 of these, and then I will show you, we have drilled a hole in it, and I'll show you what that's for in a little bit. And this, you don't want to use like the sterling silver, you don't want to use silver coins, but you want to use the real 0.999 fine silver. If you have silver that's got any of the other additives, you're going to have contaminated product. It won't be pure colloidal silver. So you do need silver. If you buy the machine that helps you make this off the internet, sometimes it comes with the silver bar, so that's an option too. The second thing that you're going to need is some sort of power source to send electricity through the silver, which then makes it go into the water. And I have a power supply here. This one was purchased off of Amazon. I want to say it was about $90. I can't remember for sure. But what this does is it takes AC power, which is the power from your wall, and converts it to DC power, which would be like a DC battery. This is a permanent solution, and once you have this, you have this. The other thing is that you could string together a series of 9-volt batteries, and that's definitely cheaper than $90, but you're going to constantly have to buy the batteries every time you want to make the colloidal silver, And then the other risk that you run with this is that you run out of battery juice before your silver is done. So using the power supply, it takes approximately 3 hours. So you need your silver, you need some sort of power supply, whether you're using 9-volt batteries or a power supply. And again, I got this one off of Amazon. The other thing that you're going to need is distilled water. And it has to be distilled water. You can't use the water out of your tap. Even if you put it through a filter or reverse osmosis, it has too many minerals. So it has to be this distilled water. It has to be very pure. And this doesn't cost too much. You need some alcohol to clean your equipment before you start. I use these Brillo pads to clean everything up. And then the other thing that you need is a dark jar. It has to be a glass jar when you make the product. And I am using this dark mason jar. You need some clean plastic. I'm using a gallon baggie to put over the top to prevent contamination. And then off of the power supply, we have the positive lead and the negative lead. And they both have an alligator clamp, and I've left this one unassembled so you can see, or I haven't put it in the jar so you can see. So basically you attach the alligator clip to the lead of the wire, and then the other end, which is just the bare copper, you're going to thread it through those 2 holes that I showed you in the silver bars. Then the other thing you have to do is just put the silver water in the jar, and this is our setup. We have a rubber band that holds the plastic in place. We have the leads that go into here, poke through the top, and then the important thing is that once you get this set up, the only thing that you want touching in the water is the silver, because if you have these wires in the water, it's a contamination, and it'll not be a pure colloidal silver. And the other thing is you don't want the 2 silver bars or the wires to touch in the water. They need to be separate from each other. So other than that, it's pretty easy to make. It takes about 3 hours. You just set a timer and then go check on it. You do want to keep it in a glass jar once you make it, or excuse me, a dark jar. At the point that you make it, you can transfer it into a plastic jar. It needs to be dark, but it cannot have any metal. So this is a mason jar, but you don't want to use like the canning jar lid that came with it, because that metal would react with the silver that's in there. Anyhow, this is how you make colloidal silver. It's another option for a disinfectant. Please do your research to see if this will work for you and your family. It may be a good alternative for you in the next few weeks if supplies of disinfectants are running low. Again, you can readily make this just by obtaining some silver bars, some distilled water, and some sort of power source, whether or not you buy the permanent one off the internet or use 9-volt batteries. Plenty of videos out there that tell you step by step how to do it. This is not designed to be an instructional video. It's just letting you know it is an alternative and it's not that hard to make. And if you do make it yourself, you'll save a lot of money. All right, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments down below. Please let me know if you've made colloidal silver before, if you think you might make it now, and if you've used silver in the past, what have you used it for? All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe out there.